These are 33 green flags that you need to look for in a man if you're trying to find a long-term relationship. What's going on, guys? It's been a little while since I made a YouTube video. There are so many excuses as to why I haven't made them, but I'm not going to spend my time on that. I'm going to spend my attention and my time right now in really helping you guys understand what is a good quality partner and what is not a good quality partner. Now, this video is not specifically about the red flags. We are going to be talking about the green flags. I will make another video talking about the red flags you should look out for. But I think if you focus your time and attention on the things that you want in life as opposed to the things you don't want, you will be successful. My favorite personal development and life optimization coach, Tony Robbins, says that successful people focus 80% of the time on the solution and 20% of the time on the problem, and unsuccessful people do the opposite. So they focus on the problem, and that's why they feel stuck. I'm not going to tell you why I haven't been posting YouTube videos because that be focusing on the problem. I am right now focused on the solution, and I am very confident that I will be posting very consistently now that I have a nice little setup for myself. So without further ado, here are 33 green flags in a man. This video will be kind of long, so if you want to turn this up, if you're watching this at home, or if you want to listen to this on podcast form, if you're doing that, great. I want this to be somewhat educational, but somewhat entertaining and interesting. I don't want this to be like a lecture or anything like this. I want to keep you guys engaged, and I obviously always want you guys to take notes down below in the comments. So please do that in case somebody else is in a rush and they just want to know what it is. Take some notes and let's get started. Number one is that his action. I'm rusty. I'm really rusty. I'm not going to edit this so you guys see what this process is like. Number one is that his actions match his words. That is consistency at the end of the day. When somebody's actions match their words, you can call it consistency, you can call it integrity. It's they are who they say they are. Most of my advice that I give to my clients is like watch behavior. Don't focus too much on what people say. But when their words match their behaviors, that's because they're very self-aware. They are thinking of what they say to you and they're thinking about how you interpret what they say, and they're very cognizant to make sure that they do what they say. Myself, I'm not perfect, right? I am working to become the best version of myself, and I'm sure you are as well. That's why you're watching this video. But when you are cognizant of your own actions, you are always thinking about how people perceive you and ultimately how you perceive yourself, because the world is a mirror. You are always seeing what is happening on the inside of your life outside. So the outside is the external reality. Reality is not objective. And I'm sorry to get really deep, but this is just how I move. Reality is not objective, it is subjective. We see reality as we are. So if we see ourselves as terrible, we see ourselves as someone that we can't trust our own words, then you're going to have a hard time trusting somebody else because you think, oh, this is not how life is. I don't do everything I say. I'm sure he's not that kind of person. So a lot of the things I talk about is going to make you think about yourself and make you self-reflect, which is incredibly important when you want to attract a partner because you are going to attract the person in regards to and in relation to where you're at that present time. Okay. Like I said, this is going to be a longer video, so buckle up. You might have to put this on your watch later and come back to it from time to time. An example of his actions match his words is something like, "Hey, what are you doing next week? Did you want to go out? Are you free on Friday?" And then you say yes. And then Wednesday comes around and he's like, "Hey, I'm really excited to see you on Friday." And then you're like, "Yeah, yeah, what do you want to do?" And he says something like, "Hey, let's go to a movie," or whatever the case is, right? It's less important where he takes you. It's more important that he does what he says he's going to do. And then on Friday morning, he's like, "Hey, I'm going to pick you up at this time, dress like this. I'll see you here, whatever." And then he sees you, and then it's like he's not late, he's on time. Maybe he's a couple minutes late. I've been late a couple of times in my life, and if my girlfriend's watching this, she already knows I was late for a good amount of our dates. But I was always nice about it, and I'm working on it, okay? So that is a great example. That is a very quick example of somebody whose actions are matching their words, and that's a good preview of what's to come. And the more times he can do this with you, the more confident you're going to be in his words, because words in the beginning are just fluff. One of my favorite quotes is from an acting mentor I used to have, and he's like, uh, an ounce of actions is worth a pound of words, something like this. So actions are worth more than words, but when your words can line up with your actions, then your words are now powerful and they're heavy too. You want to be the kind of person and you want to attract the kind of person that when they say something, you're like, oh, it's happening now. That's a really good thing to look for. So that's number one. Okay. Number two, and I have my notes here. No, I haven't memorized these 33 green flags, but I can talk about them at length when I do read them. He makes plans, confirms plans, and follows through. So, a person that makes plans is kind of similar to the first one, right? But when a person makes plans, that's one thing. It's showing initiative, proactivity. When he confirms plans, he's showing clear communication. He's showing that he's thinking about you and he wants you to be clear and he wants you to be free of worry and he wants you to not stress. This is a masculine trait, right? This is something I had to learn through my sales experience being like a salesperson online and in person. You learn that you have to follow up because you just assume that when somebody books a call, they're going to show up. But it doesn't work like that. People get busy, people forget, yada yada. So it's always about being consistent with your words. Sometimes you're gonna have to do this as a woman, and that's fine too. Like, don't feel like you're pursuing him or you're chasing him by asking to confirm. That just shows who you are. And he might be like, oh shit, like she's clear with her communication. And then following through. So every time you see that happen, that's like a little bit more confidence, a little bit more confidence. Um, Clear example is pretty much the one that I just gave, right? Makes a plan, brings it up again, confirms it, and then follows through on that specific plan. The more times you do it, the more confidence and the more trust there is in the relationship. Number three, you feel calmer after talking to him, not more anxious. Now, this is a very interesting one. When you feel calmer with a person, then that shows that your nervous systems are pretty connected. That shows that he is a person that also likes peace. And if you find yourself talking to people, and every time you talk to people, they look more stressed or you seem more stressed, and that's always like a normal thing for you, that could be that you just have like social anxiety or you're just not calm in your own presence, and that every time you meet somebody, they get a little bit more stressed. For me, I used to feel like that at one point, and then I was like, I don't like this. I want people when they interact with me, when they hear me, when they are around me, to feel calm, to feel relaxed, to feel chill. I had to bring myself to that certain place first in order for me to do that with other people. So everything that we talk about here is like everything's a mirror, right? We always talk about this. But if you feel calm around this person, like he makes you feel less like in your head and you feel just like good. Sure, he's going to get you excited at times, but like you want to feel safe, protected, secure, calm, even sleepy. If you feel sleepy around a person, that's a really good sign because he is inducing oxytocin within you. And you cannot feel oxytocin unless you feel safe, relaxed. Oxytocin gets released especially after like lovemaking. So that's a normal feeling. That's like the bonding hormone, right? After hugs. Um, and that's what I try to do in my content. I try to make you guys feel relaxed because if I'm making you feel stressed, if I'm telling you things like you have 2 years to get married or you're done, that's BS, man. I'm trying to give you hope because I know it exists. I know your life can get better. I've seen it for myself. I've seen it with my clients. It always gets better. The two things I want you to always remember is that number one, it always works out. This is my thing. I always believe that it always works out. Number two, it always gets better. I learned this from a friend, one of my best friends. It always works out. It always gets better. It always works out. It always gets better. If you can feel this and if you can be certain about this, life is really good. Life only gets better. Okay. Number four, he is emotionally available even when it's inconvenient. Let's say there's something on your mind and you're pretty stressed about it and he's got a busy day, right? Be mindful of that for sure. Like understand that whatever you say to somebody is going to affect them. But let's say you held that information in you were stressed about something that he did on Instagram or whatever the case is. And then at the end of the day, you know that he finished work and you know that he wants to just like relax, but you're like, I really want to say this. I want it to become a big issue. And this is someone you're dating for a while, whatever the case is, right? You give him a call and you say, hey, is it okay if we talk about something? I want to ask you a question. It's like a question about how I feel. And he says, no, like I want to relax. I don't want to hear this right now. It's because it's inconvenient for him, right? But if he really cares about you, if he's a green flag, if he's a masculine man that wants to make you feel heard, safe, protected, then he is going to think a little bit less about himself and think more about how you feel. And he wants you to feel good if he cares about you. And he'll say something like, yes, go ahead. Like, what is it? It might bug him. It might make him stressed. He might not want to feel it, but he is willing to put up with that feeling of stress to make sure that you feel good. Because ultimately, when you feel good, he's going to feel good. And when you feel bad, he's going to feel bad. And it's like a cycle that goes back and forth. The whole happy wife, happy life thing, I agree with it, but like happy everybody. Like, why not everybody be happy? Why does only the wife have to be happy? I don't agree with that. And although I make my content for you ladies, I'm like, dude, everybody has got to be happy. It's not just women that got to be happy. You know what I mean? I'm not dissing, by the way. I'm just saying this is what I think. Okay. And he's emotionally available. He lets you, say what you have to say, and he listens to you, and he tells you, okay, this is how I feel about it. Okay, what do you want to do? Blah blah blah. But it's up to you to be a clear communicator too. Don't just throw emotions at him and expect him to know how to process it. Process your own emotions first, and then give it to him in a way that he can understand. And I know this might sound like I'm teaching you guys how to behave or how to act. I'm just telling you what high value relationship dynamics look like in the moment. And for that to happen, you also need to be green flags. You also need to have these green flags. It's not that just that you're meeting somebody with green flags and then he's just going to fix you. He's not your therapist. You are your therapist, or your therapist is your therapist. Yes. Number five, he can apologize without defending himself. When a guy always feels the need to defend himself when he does something wrong, like saying, oh, I didn't mean this, or this is why this happened, or blah, 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 then he's pretty much saying that he's not taking accountability. But if you know he did something wrong and he knows it too, and he says, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done it, I fucked up. That's accountability, and that's really important. Accountability is a huge thing. Accountability is like, imagine in 10 years when you guys have a kid and he forgets to pick the kid up. Let's say your kid's like 12 years old, forgets to pick the kid up. And you get a call at work and he's supposed to pick him up, and you're like, why'd you pick up Michael or whatever? And he says, oh, I don't know, like, I have a busy day today, go figure it out. Obviously, that's someone that's like defending himself. But if he's like, oh, I'm sorry, that's my bad, I'll go now, green flag, obviously, right? Okay. Number six, he protects your time like it matters. So he's not going to just make plans with you and then flop last minute because he sees your time as valuable just as much as his. But he also sees his time as very valuable too. And if he thinks that he won't be able to give you the proper attention, he might not even make a plan with you. So when he does say that, okay, I'm going to meet you, this is going to happen at this time, again, it goes back to like sticking through to his word. If he cancels, then there is probably a reason for it and he'll tell you. And you should have the standard for yourself. Like, if a guy cancels on you last minute once and he has a decent excuse, okay, you can kind of go around that. You can understand where he's coming from. If it happens again, if it's a pattern, if it happens all the time, you got to ask yourself, do I not respect myself enough to like not be around this kind of person? Or do I respect myself enough to tell this person that even if I like them or I find them attractive, like this doesn't work for me. I don't want to be a part of that. If that's the kind of person you are, then I wish you the best of luck, but I'm not trying to be a part of that because we have to think abundantly. There are more than enough options for you. There are, trust me. Even if you don't see them, there are people that would love to be in a relationship with you. But if you spend most of your time in a bad relationship, you're not going to be in a good one, right? Common sense. He communicates early instead of disappearing. So if the guy has a tough time communicating with you, it might just be the whole avoidant thing, right? Sometimes it's easier for guys to just avoid conversation than it is to have a harder conversation or a more intimate emotional conversation. If he is communicating to you instead of saying last minute, hey, I gotta go on a work trip tomorrow, then that shows that he cares about your feelings. He doesn't want to just put you in a position where last minute you feel stressed. So let's say you guys are dating for like 3 months. He might say something like, hey, in 2 weeks I'm going on a trip, or like next week I'm going on a trip, to kind of give you some time to process. I used to not be like this. I used to just kind of be like, why would I need to tell anybody? It's my life. But obviously, when you have an impact on somebody else, emotionally, spiritually, and people like to be around you, people like your presence, it's going to make an impact when you're not going to be there. So you should tell them. And you shouldn't get upset if he tells you that he's going. You shouldn't be like, you shouldn't go or blah, blah, blah. But um, you'd appreciate that. And I think he would appreciate that from you as well if you're going on a girls' trip or something like that. He introduces you to his life instead of hiding from it. This is a big one. Um, if a guy really likes you, he wants you to meet his friends. If a guy really likes you, he wants you to meet his parents eventually. It's not gonna happen immediately, but it's gonna happen. If he really likes you, then he will take you to the places that he frequents. If he, if he's like a red flag, if he's not so, if he doesn't see you as the person for him, he's not going to take you to his gym. He's not going to introduce you to his friends. He's not going to invite you to parties. I'm not saying this is going to happen fast. Like for me, like I started introducing my girlfriend after months, like after a couple of months, because I needed to be sure that I really liked this girl, and I needed to be sure that it was a good fit between both of us. If you prematurely start inviting, your friends around to meet your partner, then you never know. Like you want to be certain that you like this person. And then when you slowly do these introductions, it's all about expectation management too. So you might be thinking you want to introduce this guy to your parents right away. And for you it might be normal, but you got to know, you got to be confident in your decision. If you introduce this guy to your parents and let's say he's not a good fit, like if your parents say, I don't know about this guy, do you have enough evidence to tell them why he's a good fit? Do you have clarity in yourself to know that this is the one for you, right? It doesn't have to be the one when you're introducing them to your parents, but I mean, like, you should have some reassurance in yourself. And if they're introducing you to their friends, their family, and taking you to those different places, you should feel really good. You should feel like, oh, this person actually is proud of me, is excited about me, wants to introduce me, and assume that your friends are gonna like you. Assume that their parents are gonna like you. Don't be stressed about like, oh, what if they don't like me? Why are you putting your attention there? Your attention should be, I'm a good person. I'm investing in myself. I'm taking the time to educate myself, watching videos like this and probably some other ones. So his parents would be happy to meet you. His friends would be stoked to meet you. At the end of the day, they just want to see that you're easygoing, you're funny, you're a good listener, you're not just like some crazy lady that has no, EQ. And obviously, the hotter you are, the more excited he's going to be to introduce you. Because for men, it's all about like status, and they want to have the status of having a pretty girlfriend, right? And again, this is just real talk here. So you can always be hotter. I can always get hotter, and that's my focus is always become better, become more educated, become more competent, become stronger, become fitter, become healthier, right? And that's the focus. That's how we should focus. This is definitely going to be a longer video. Yeah, you guys are going to love this. Um, he's consistent on weekends too, not just when it's easy. So if he goes ghost on you on the weekends with no reason, that's not a green flag. That's a red flag. But if he's like talking to you the same on weekends, that shows that he's a guy that doesn't see the weekends as just like a time to just relax, take it easy, and not do anything. Like for me personally, and for a lot of the people that I speak to, a lot of the guys that I speak to, the matchmaking job that I have, and successful guys that I know in person, in the real world, in the real world, like my friends and my family, successful people don't look at weekends as like days off. Successful people look at weekends as like a time to get ahead. You can still relax and recharge, but like it's not an excuse to go ghost on you, right? Um, he makes you feel safe without love bombing. I think love bombing, the way I see it, is like a guy giving you like exaggerated love to almost like blind you and almost like it's like a flash grenade when they throw a grenade at you and like you're like, I can't hear, I can't see. When I think some guys do this unconsciously, but consciously when a guy is love bombing, he's like he's trying to distract you from your emotions and trying to pull you in, almost like manipulating you. If he's doing it unconsciously, he probably never got attention from a girl before, and once he has attention, he wants to just give the woman everything, so she feels more inclined to be with him. But you really want to obviously feel safe. And as a woman, you know when you feel safe. Like it's a pretty quick feeling. It's the feeling of like when you're going on a date and the guy he's like aware about like touching you. He kind of feels your energy before he goes in for a kiss or before he grabs you by the small of your back. You know, he's a gentleman. Like he just wants you to feel relaxed. When it went back to like the whole nervous system thing, when guys understand the nervous system and like if you understand the nervous system well, you can do this with a guy. When he says he wants to feel peace, how regulated is your nervous system? And if you can make his nervous system even more regulated, he's gonna love you. He's not gonna know why he loves you, but he's gonna love you. Number 11, he can handle your emotions without punishing you for them. If he thinks your emotions are crazy, and if he's like this every time you either cry or you get a little bit happy or you get sad or whatever emotional roller coaster that you're on, he should be able to handle it because a man that has experience with women, either with his mom, with his family, with his sisters, with other friends, female friends, or other women that he's dated, he's gonna understand that a woman has emotions and they change from hour to hour, day to day because of, the cycle that they're on. So he should want to make you feel safe. But that's a really important thing. I guess I'll kind of speed through these a little bit. I don't even know if my phone has that much memory, but we're going anyways. Hope you guys are liking this. If you're liking this so far and you want more content like this, you can join my community called Always Attracting. The link is in the bio. It has a 7-day free trial. I think you'd really like it. We do 2 calls a week. One call is like a coaching call, and one call is more of like a Q&A. And you get to talk with me, and we get to vibe. And you're in a really cool community as well. So if you're interested in that, link in the bio or link in the comment section down below. Let's keep going. He asks questions that show he is actually listening. If you say something like, I hate running, and then like 2 questions later, he's like, so do you ever run? Obviously, he's not listening to you. And if he just like didn't listen that one time, that's okay. But like if he never listens, that's not a good sign. He doesn't give a shit at the end of the day. He might just be there to do, the dirty deed with you. But when a guy really cares about you, he's gonna listen to what you say. He's gonna really listen and listen to like how you say it and what you do and what your life looks like. And guys that care about you give a shit about you. Like I know it sounds kind of crazy, but they care. If they care, they're gonna remember things. And for me, like it's to the point where if I really, really like somebody, I'm gonna note things down. I'm gonna write them down so I can really be sure that I know like when this is happening. Like, oh, she's got like a job interview on the 15th. Let me ask her how that interview went. And then the next step is like, let me send her a flower. Let me send her flowers. Let me send her a treat to congratulate her. There's levels to this. I'm not saying you should expect it. I'm just saying like when a guy cares about you, he will listen to you and he remembers things. He takes care of his health like his future matters. If a guy's only concerned with his money but not the way he looks, then he doesn't really care about his future. I know it's kind of crazy to think that somebody doesn't care about their future, but like unconsciously what they're saying is that I don't really think about my future version of myself because I'm just so focused on making money or doing this or doing that. But like, if you're taking care of your health, you're pretty much saying to your future self and your future family and relationships that I want to be there and I want to be a higher quality person while I'm there. So ideally, he takes care of himself because if he takes care of his health now for the future, then he'll also have the traits of taking care of you and your kids in the future too. He has boundaries and it respects yours as well. If you say, I don't sleep on the first 3 dates, like, is he forcing you to sleep with him on the first 3 dates? Does he say something like, if you don't sleep with me, I'm gone? If he says that, great. Like, he's pretty much telling you what his standard is. And if you don't agree with that, you should leave. Don't fall into the peer pressure. Okay? He is decisive, not ambiguous. This is one of my least favorite things in men. When a man is like not able to be decisive, even when I'm like just with other guys, even when there's no girls around. A lot of men are indecisive. A lot of men, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? I don't know what to do. Like, it's just like, dude, wake the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, It's not about making the right decision, it's about making a decision and making it right. So I always thought it was important to be decisive, and it's a skill you practice. So if he has that, if he is able to be decisive as to where you're going and he doesn't spend an hour trying to figure out where to go, it's a great sign. And it's not to say that you can't choose a place once in a while. If you're really picky, you should be the one giving options because what if he is decisive and you're complaining every time you go out somewhere? He's not going to want to make a decision. So be clear about what you like and then expect him to make the decision. But you could also make the decision once in a while if you'd like. He makes commitment feel natural, not negotiated. He doesn't make you feel bad about you having to commit to him or him having to commit to you. For you, you just have to describe it as like, look, I'm not going to be with a person that is with multiple people. Like that's just who I am. If you don't like that, I get it. But like I want to be with one person and I want my person to be with me as well. If he likes you enough, he's going to say, I'm down. I'll do it. He'll sacrifice his own ability to sleep with multiple people to say, I'm choosing you. And if he doesn't, then he'll leave, and that's fine. You shouldn't get upset. You shouldn't feel like, oh, maybe I should let him sleep with multiple guys or multiple girls because then he'll like me more or he'll want to be with me. You're putting yourself down if you don't really like that. If you know that would make you upset for him to do those things, then don't even do it. Don't even put yourself in that position. Um, he leans in after connection, not away from it. When you guys connect, does he lean in more or does it make him scared? Does he run away? Is he afraid of connection? Do you have a really deep conversation and then he's just gone? Do you maybe get intimate and then he's just quiet? I know there's games around this sometimes, but like when you see a pattern, like once he gets what he wants, like let's say a makeout sesh or like he sleeps with you, is he showing you more connection or is he showing you less? If he's showing you less, then it's pretty much like he's saying that he got what he wanted. And at that point, if I were you, don't get worried if he's not replying, if he's not messaging. Maybe don't even reach out to him. Maybe give him a couple of days. Let him process that information. Let him miss you a little bit. I think it's a good trait in a man to get back to you after that happens and say, hey, I hope it was good. Like, I had a good time with you. Maybe I'd like to see you again. That's cool if he says that. If he doesn't, don't overthink it. I think a lot of the times as humans, we like to create these loops and then close them ourselves with negative ideas and negative thought patterns. And that's what creates stress. So if you're going to have an open loop, like if you're not sure why he's not messaging you, just say something like, it was so good. And maybe he's playing the game not to message me because he wants to look cooler for me or something like this. And just be like, cool, like I'll play the same game. Message him if you want. Don't overthink these things too much. And I don't mean to make you overthink it. When life gets hectic, he's communicating like an adult. If he's really stressed about work, really stressed about his job, his family, whatever the case is he still pretty clear with his communication or is he all over the place? Does his communication go crazy when life gets hectic? That's a trait of someone that can't maybe handle a lot of stress. If you want to be with this person, you're going to have kids with them one day. Your parents, God forbid, are going to pass away, yours or his. And he's going to be the one that's going to be around you. So ask yourself, is this a person that's ready for that? And if they're not, you got to ask yourself if that's what you want or not, right? And sure, people can get better, people can learn, but like that's how you know where somebody's at, depending on how they react to stresses in their life. Um, Number 19. I think we're doing a pretty good job. What is that? 30 minutes so far? Yeah, this is going to be a longer video. Really cool. Um, he's intentional about you, not just interested in you. If he's just interested in you, then he just wants to see you, maybe take you out, maybe sleep with you, blah blah blah. But if he's saying stuff like what are you doing in a couple of months? Like oh maybe like I feel like my parents would love you, or like yeah I'll introduce you to my friends, stuff like this. If he's showing you like the future version of what it could be when you guys are together, when he's kind of including you into those things, it shows that he's intentional about you, that he wants to build a relationship. But if he's just interested in you, then he won't even talk about those things. He'll keep it on silent. He can talk about hard things without getting defensive. Again, the ability to hold multiple ideas, opposing ideas at the same time without judgment is, for me, intelligence. So if he has an idea about something and you have an idea about something and he's getting defensive about it, it shows that he can't hold your idea and his at the same time. he should be able to hold yours and his and kind of be like, this is what I think about that. That's a good trait. He's proud to claim you. Again, this is another thing. Is he embarrassed to hold your hand? Is he embarrassed to take you to new places? Is he embarrassed to sit close to you? Or is he like proud to have you in his life? That's a huge green flag. He values stability because he values you. He wants you to feel stable. At times you guys might get into arguments. At times you might argue. You might not get into fights, but like, little disputes here and there. But he also values the stability that you feel in your life. If you're communicating to him that you want stability, then he will do his best to give you that as much as he can. And it's up to how much stability he can give you. If he can't give you that much stability, then maybe he's not a stable person. And then again, you ask yourself, do I want someone that's not stable? Number 23, he leads with structure and makes space for softness. One of my clients said something really interesting. She said that the masculine energy is like kind of like this safe space that's created, and the feminine is the ability to play within that space. She said something along those lines, and I've always remembered that because the masculine is kind of creating this like border, like okay, let's play here. Like we're gonna be playing in this park today, right? Don't leave the park, but just whatever you want to do in the park, you can do it. So does he make you feel like you can have that safe space to communicate, to do things, to have conversations, to laugh? Um, and your ability to kind of have fun in that space is your ability to stay soft. And if he makes you feel like it has to be so rigid, I had another client who told me that at one point she was with this guy who like judged everything she wore. She couldn't feel comfortable in like the different outfits that she wanted to pick out. She just didn't feel relaxed. And that's not fair, right? That's really not fair. And so that guy didn't create this safe space. He created like this very like harsh space. And that's why the relationship didn't work out. He was upset that she wasn't giving him her soft side, but he didn't give her the ability to be soft, right? Um, Number 23, this is a big one. Or sorry, 24. He admires your ambition while he's still ambitious. High value guys with I guess a positive outlook on relationships and women, they want to see their women be ambitious. Now, they're not going to compare your ambition to theirs. They're not going to say, "Oh, you don't make as much money as me." They don't care how much money you make, really. They just want to see if you're passionate and happy about what you're doing. If you're complaining about your life every day, if you don't like what you do, if your job sucks and you tell him every single day, he's going to be like, "Dude, like, why are you giving me all these problems? Why don't you just figure out a new job?" Maybe he helps you, maybe he doesn't, I don't know, but you're a grown woman. You should be able to figure those things out yourself too. If you don't like something, then leave it. If you're not happy with where you're at, come up with a plan. Maybe ask him, hey, babe, I don't really like my job right now. Do you think you can help me find something else? That's a nice soft way of bringing it up to him. And his masculine mind will turn on and be like, yeah, let's solve this problem. Let's come up with a solution. The masculine is more solution oriented. That's why every time you're telling your problems to a man, they just want to give you a solution because that's how they feel they can help. But with women, it's more like you tell your problems to a woman and they're going to say, I totally get what you're saying and I completely understand you. Two different types of things, both great in their own way, right? With women, you're processing information. With men, it's more of like solution based. Um, Number 25, he is capable of bringing you into his life. If he says, my life is too crazy right now, I don't have time to make this work, which I felt a couple of years ago, then is it a really good idea for you to be with him? Is it a good idea for him to date? You got to vet him out at that point. But if his life is organized and he's saying, look, everything else is great for me, I got a nice job, nice relationships, I just want to be with a woman that I feel good with. And you probably want the same thing. If you hate your life, a relationship is not going to fix it. I'm telling you right now, a relationship adds on to your life. It's like money. If you're a horrible person, money makes you a worse person. If you're a great person, money makes you even better. It amplifies it. So if you're in a great relationship with yourself, and then you meet somebody who's also in a great relationship with themselves, Then you guys get into a great relationship together, ideally. I hope that makes sense. 26, he's got a sense of humor. This probably should be number one, but like, are you able to laugh with him? Is it fun to be around him? Is it chill? Or do you always feel like you're walking on eggshells? Because that's not a position you want to be in as a woman. That's making you the opposite of feminine. That's putting you in your masculine. That's making you stressed. Okay? It's like, is he funny? He doesn't have to be the funniest guy in the world, but is he making jokes? Is he light? Are you laughing at his jokes? Do you find him funny? Do you have to force it? Is he able to be witty with you? Are you able to be witty with him? I think that's a great relationship when there's a lot of laughter involved. You're going to be speaking with this person ideally for the rest of your life. Like this is going to be your partner. You should always be vetting people based off of that. Um, Number 27, almost done. He is growth minded and proves it with behavior. Is he focused on his future? Is he focused on getting better, making more money, getting in better shape, improving his relationships, improving his communication skills? This is a huge green flag. There's one type of mindset, which is a growth mindset. And there's one type of mindset, which is a fixed mindset. This is from Dweck's work, Carol Dweck. And she talks about how someone with a growth mindset is more successful, they're more happy, they actually get further in life. And the difference is someone with a growth mindset says, I'm not so good at this, but I can get better. I'm getting better at this thing. I'm not great at speaking, but I will improve my communication skills. I'm not that strong, but I will get stronger. Or are they like, I'm not strong, I have horrible genetics, I can't get smarter, my parents are both dumb. There's no way I'm gonna get better at this thing. You know what I mean? Like that's a fixed mindset type of person. You want to be with someone that's growth mindset, especially if you're a growth mindset, because if you're a growth mindset person with a fixed mindset person, it really sucks. Um, 28. You feel like a partner with them, not just someone that's a caretaker. Pretty common sense. Do you feel like they're treating you like you're your own person? Do you feel like they value what you say, they care about you, or do they just treat you as someone that's supposed to take care of everything for them whenever they have time? No good. If that's normal for you, maybe you need to work on your self-esteem a bit, right? So they value you like a partner, like a woman, a woman that deserves a good life, like their girlfriend. Number 29, he is responsible without being cheap. So he's not just like throwing money away. He's not just spending his old paycheck on a weekend just to look good in front of people. Um, he spends money, but like not in a way that's like it shows he can't take care of it. That's a green flag. I don't think it's a green flag if he spends a lot of money on you necessarily, because a guy can be rich and spend money on a lot of women just to get something from them. And I've met men like this a lot. Men that take women to fancy dates and their only intention is to make sure that the girl is impressed so they can take him back to a hotel or to their house and sleep with them. Is that good? Depends what you want. 30, he plans dates because he wants you to enjoy the dates and he wants to enjoy them themselves, not to impress. So it's the same thing we just spoke about. I think a lot of women think that going on a really nice first date is that's like my standard, that's my non-negotiable. He's just trying to impress you most of the time. If he really likes you after the first or second date and he takes you out, that's because he cares about you. He wants you to have a good time. He cares about your emotions. But if he's just trying to impress you, you know what he's trying to get from you: validation, attention, or intimacy. And again, it depends on what your motive is. But if your motive is a long term relationship, you shouldn't necessarily always be optimizing for the guy that takes you to the nicest restaurant, my opinion. The last three. Before this, I want to say, guys, if you've enjoyed this, then let me know. I want to hear what you think. Please leave comments down below. If you want to work with me on a one-on-one capacity where I can actually listen to your issues, listen to your problems, and come up with a custom plan for you and help you one-on-one through coaching calls, I would love to do that. You can go in the description below and book a call with me. Let's get back to it. Number 31, he builds slowly, consistently, and invites you in. He's constantly improving. Everything about him is getting better. There might be times where it looks like there's a dip, but that's just because That's life. But if his track record is positive, if the trajectory is positive, you're in good hands. Ideally, you're in the same position. 32, he repairs conflict instead of escaping it. The easiest thing for men to do is whenever there's an issue, they'll just leave. I used to be like this. In my last relationship, I would get overwhelmed and just be like, I gotta go. I'd go to the gym, I'd go for a walk. I just like, I would avoid it because I felt like there was no way of going around it. I felt like there's no fixing it. And that's because of me. I'll take responsibility. I didn't have the skills that I have now. I didn't have the communication ability. I didn't have the ability to sit down and be patient when it came to emotional things. I didn't want to hear it. So now I'm better about that. Now I can actually work on repairing a conflict. And I care about relationships because it's not so common that you meet someone you really connect with, you really care about, and they really care about you, and there's alignment. That's not so common. It is common, it will happen, but it's not so common. And then on top of that, if you're both attracted to each other, you both love each other, that's like, you don't want to lose that. That's worth a lot of money. It's worth more than money. And then lastly, you feel seen, secure, and respected by him. If you don't take anything else from this video, you just take that. If you don't feel seen by him, if you don't feel secure with him, and you don't feel respected by him, you should not be with him. Even if one of these things is missing, you should not be with him. So these are all green flags. If you like this list, let me know what your favorite green flag is. If you think there are more green flags, because there are, trust me, there are hundreds of green flags. I want to hear what your biggest green flag in a man is. So leave a comment down below. And thanks for watching. This is probably my longest video to date. Have a great day.